The blue dragon led the way with scales that gleamed as bright as day. With treasure foretold and dreams of gold, we'll follow the dragon come what may.
All right. After a brief intermission, we're back.
Yep.
And after the wedding happened, we all went back down to camp and started mustering the troops for the final battle. And can I just say that mustering and marching with Blue Camp up to the battlefield was one of the coolest moments of the fest.
Oh yeah, it was
because at that point our entire fighting force is finally together. Mages,
finally together.
Mages, healers, warriors,
War Master.
We look like an army.
We did.
We were doing war chants the entire way out.
Yep.
We had 2 cannons in our midst and our crab, the greatest monster on the battlefield.
Yep.
Our crab. We summoned him in the Great Ritual Circle, and he came to us and was fighting with us. Marched up. We were singing songs, Let's Go Drinking at the Altar, and other songs as we marched. We headed up there, and eventually, as it took a little while to get everybody coordinated, all the camps get to the field, but we marched up, our whole camp, each camp had our banner and our avatar, and we're like, well, I think originally the final battle was going to happen in the lower field where all the camps are, and in between all the camps, but I think last moment it was changed. It did happen up on the upper field where the castle palisade wall.
Right in front of the castle.
Right.
Yeah.
At Cooper's
That
Lake.
lower field wouldn't have had near enough space.
No, there were too many.
Also, it wasn't as level as it was up there. So, we had it on the massive field right in front of that castle palisade wall, and so we all lined up. It was the Abyss, Shadow and Blue versus the World, and each camp had their dragon avatar and their banner, and the goal was to to fight your way through the enemy lines, surround the enemy avatar and banner, and frog march them up to the past this certain point.
Out of bounds.
little to the castle.
Out of bounds, essentially. And then once that happened, that team is out. So realistically, that's only going to happen once you cut down every member of that team.
Yeah,
nearabouts
before it's over for them. So we all line up on separate sides, the Abyss, everybody else, and I think a horn goes or like a whistle or something, and battle starts.
Yep.
I remember being on the right flank with some orcs from Shadow.
Yeah, I was also there.
Yeah, like
for a while.
we were
the striker team.
we were trying to hit the tree.
Yeah, the enemy had like a tree folk warrior ant looking thing
with like an 8-foot long hammer.
Yeah, he had reach, man.
Yeah.
I think I was the first person hit by it.
Yeah, I also took a pretty nasty blow from that. Yeah.
So
I took a cannonball about 2 minutes into the fight.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if we each recount what we remember.
All right.
From the final battle.
All right, kick us off.
All right.
Kick us off.
I think mine's the shortest, so I guess it's only fitting. So I remember being on the right flank with the orcs from Shadow, and they were like, all right, we're going to try to scoot around as quick as possible, do a quick flank. And I'm in a shield wall. I have people on left and right of me, and I get to the front. Everything's going great before a line of mages unleash Orbs of Power. Boom! Orbs of Power straight to the shield, which goes to the shield. My armor hits me directly. I'm still up by one. I have 1 hit point left, and I'm fighting, and I'm trying to not get hit. Another Orb of Power. I'm down. I'm on the ground. One of the lead mages from the I'm like the first person on the ground, and but then the line moves past me, so luckily I didn't have to scoot up out of danger. But I scoot up and kind of lay there for a little bit, and one of the lead mages who we hired from the bazaar walks up and he's like, "Do you want to be risen as a zombie?" And I was like, "Nah, it's okay." And he's like, "Fine, there's nothing more I can do." And then he walks off with his parasol to the fight. But apparently zombies are OP. They're actually pretty good. So next time I might consider it. But no, so I stumbled back to the. I think somebody picked me up and drug me back to our field station, and they patched me up. They're like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And I was like, 2 orbs of power, straight to the chest. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I see the holes. Like I can see my hand." And it's just like, so yeah, they patched me up, and about that time, since I was with the orcs, a couple of them went down too. So like they were getting healed, and I got up, and then they're like, "Yeah, do you want to join us? You know, we're gonna attack their left flank." I was like, this worked out great before. Sure, why not? Yeah. So it was like me and like 3 orcs, and we ran up to the left flank, and we were stopped by a group of red berserkers, and I got a couple good hits in, blocking, and then eventually one of them came up and shield broke my shield, so I had to I set that aside. I got back in the front line. And I'm there with my longsword, like, this is it. I'm down to, like, 1 HP again. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go down swinging. I don't have my shield anymore, so anything could, hit me. I'm wearing a gambeson and, like, my bracers and greaves. And it felt, like, super cool. I had, like, my bandana on. I was like, yeah. And then I hear, like, chanting behind me. And, orb of power! And then I hear a thunk. And then, like, I look back, like, one of our witches, like, misfired an orb of power right in the back of, like, my neck. And they're like, oops. I was like, ah! I dropped. In hindsight, I don't think the friendly fire really counted. But also, what definitely didn't count is headshots in all circumstances do not count for any sort of damage. So yeah, like neck up does not count for anything. So that would not have counted. I would have been fine. But in the moment, I was like, well, you know what? What would have happened if I got hit in the back of the head with an orb of power?
Well, it's also your 3rd orb of power in 5 minutes.
In the final battle. So I drop, and then, like, seeing that break the line, our line pulls back, leaves me, and then one of the berserkers rolls up and just execute, and then he walks back, and I was like, that's it. I was like one of the first people out of the final battle. So yeah, I was like, okay. So I just wandered to the field station, and they had like the refs and stuff had like a cool stand set up with like lemonade and like electrolytes and all that. So I was just sipping and watching people die. But once you die, you have to go up to like this certain area so you're not in the way or get stampeded. So I had my little drink, and I was like, eventually wandered up there. It was pretty cool, like seeing how like the battle. Go back and forth and how the lines were moving, and also the game runners had like they had drones flying overhead. I don't know if we'll ever get that footage. I hope we do. That'd be nice.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll probably drop a trailer at some point.
They'll probably have some good shots from that.
That'd be really cool. But yeah, there are a lot of really cool photos from the final battle. I remember watching some key moments. I tried to keep an eye on like you 3.
We kept running into each other a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually, I just went up like out of the game area, which I couldn't see the battle as well. But
they had that really far.
Yeah. Well, evenally the battle kind of shifted that way.
So the out of game area was all the way off on the left, and the battle was mainly taking place on towards the right.
Yeah. But it was still fun. I wish it would have lasted a little longer. I think for me, one of my big mistakes was it was very hard to keep track. I was like fully, or nearly fully armored out. I had most of my body covered, but I was really trying to play up taking my hits and taking my points that I kind of lost track of how many hit points I had or armor points. So I was like, well, I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt. I took it. I went down. So I think next year I'm really going to try to use my armor and my armor points for the. But that's just me and the learning curve that I have to overcome.
Which is funny because I almost went the exact opposite where I felt like my armor didn't help me like at all.
Me too.
Well, I wasn't super armored, and I didn't take a lot of hits to the chest where most of my armor was.
Yeah, because the only hits that I was taking to my armor were arrows, which ignore armor.
Right.
I didn't take a single body blow from a melee weapon the entire time, and I was in like multiple fights.
Yeah. Dorian, what was your experience in the final battle?
My experience in the final battle. Well, I lined up, tried to stay. I think I lined up right next to Cork,
Yep.
And about a minute or two,
30 seconds later.
about a minute or two into the battle, I take an orb of power directly into the breastplate. Not orb of power, cannonball from an enemy artillery piece. Sent me right to the med tent for the first time. So I got healed up. Came back. I was in line for about another minute or two until an enemy spellcaster hit me with an orb of power, which sent me right back to the med tent.
You end up stuck in the med tent for a while.
I was in the med tent for quite a bit because after that I came back. There was actually did some fighting, took some hits. I think I gave out a hit.
Yeah.
I didn't really do a lot of successful fighting. And then I got shot up with some arrows, which sent me right back to the med tent.
Yep.
Finished getting healing. At that point, our line had gotten pushed almost all the way back to the medic tent.
Yep.
The medic area. So I was right out in front, and we kept getting pushed back. I didn't go backwards, and got cut down right there.
Yeah. Cork. What?
So, I actually didn't go down immediately. I stayed up for a bit. I was on the right with you. We were fighting the tree thing for like 5 minutes. I got hit with that axe. That hurt. But I had the champion feat, so I had that extra HP, which was nice. And then I'm pretty sure I took an arrow, and then that sent me to the med tent for the first time. And it takes forever to heal. I lost,
Especially when you're bleeding out.
Yeah, so I think I had to have been back there for like 5 or 10 minutes, I think, at least. I barely got like half my health back. And then went out again. And probably one of the funniest things about the battle is like you end up fighting people that like you've talked to throughout the fest and like are kind of friendly with. The guy who we bought the lantern from, like the lantern seller guy,
Oh, yeah.
I got a hit in on him.
Oh yeah.
The guy that I was sparring with on like the Wednesday, like before we officially started, like I ran into him and we traded some blows. He hit me, I didn't hit him. He's pretty good. But then there was one moment that I remember vividly where it was like arrow, and I was like, all right, well I'm back to the medic tent now.
Yeah.
But it was like over the span of like 5 seconds. It was like boom, 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 and it was just, and the one I took to the center of the chest hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt quite.
You didn't have your breastplate on that point.
No, I did.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I don't
no,
think so.
I didn't.
Cork didn't.
No, I did not. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was a rough one. But then by the time I got back out of the hospital that time, it's like you said. I mean, we were basically pushed the whole way back. And yeah, so I kind of just went down swinging the line there. But what was funny is I got a hit on somebody, and then my outstretched arm got hit. And then as I was like backing up to react to that, somebody clonked the rim of my helmet, because I was wearing like a conquistador helmet, so I had a pretty wide rim. And as I was kind of like reeling back from that, I took another arrow to the chest. I was like, all right, I'm pretty sure I'm dead now. Like so I decided to just call it there.
Yep.
And walk out. But yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so epic though, you know?
It was an interesting way to go out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't kill anybody. I didn't coup de grace anybody like at all during the fest. But I got a few hits in, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah.
My going into this battle, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch out for archers the whole time. But no, I started out similar to Connor. We were kind of side by side. And I think we were like, all right, we'll be in a striker team because only strikers with two-handed weapons can hit monsters. And it was kind of this standoff for a moment between the green tree thing. It's got this big stump-looking head and this 8-foot-long hammer. He's just going, just back and forth longer than like most pole arms. And we're just like, none of us want to get hit by that. Yeah. And I remember, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try and cause a distraction. So I go up, I like swing and like kind of just missed. And he saw me coming and just boom, right in my chest. So I'm like, okay, watch this. And then I kind of like just did this jump back. And I was hoping all of our guys would move up and hit, but everybody just watched me get destroyed. Like, ooh, yes. And then they just grabbed me back. They're like, go to the healer. I'm like, okay. And so I was down to 1 HP, was like hobbling over. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, I must be one of the first people to get down. I get over. Everybody's getting healed already. So I get down, I'm like, okay, here we go. And they're like, all right, we'll heal you. Dun, you know, I'm healed. I didn't get to full HP. I think they got me 2 HP, so I was at like 3 HP or something. And then I was kind of going out. it was a lot of just back and forth. Since I had a striker, I had a glaive, I was like watching. I was like, I need to try and sneak these hits. And I got some nice hits on people who kept coming in because it was the big line and just volleys of arrows and bricks and all this stuff. Like people, they're bread. Like people were eating stuff and I was like looking for somebody with a shield. And I'm like, there are no shields anymore. And I'm just like, ah. Because, like, the moment you step out, everybody's eyes are on you, all the archers especially, and they try and hit you. So I'll try and wait until, like, one of the enemies step up, and then I'll step up, and a lot of times I'll, like, chop the back of their calves behind their greaves. So I got some nice hits in. I think I got hit by, like, 1 or 2 arrows, and then I was like, all right, back to healer, you know. And then I got healed another HP, and then, like, and then I was kind of just, like, you know... I can't remember if I got healed up all the way or not, but I waited. I got healed again. No, I did get healed. They healed me. I think it was actually a surgeon, I think. So I got up, I went, and this time I was like, all right, like, let's see what we can do. And it was still kind of standoffish where both lines were just going back and forth. Like lines of shields with just like every once in a while somebody with a polearm would step up and then get hit by like 2 arrows or something. But every once in a while, you'd see, like, some people doing theatrical duels.
Yeah, the honor duels.
The honor duels. Yeah. Where, like, everybody would just kind of watch or just, like, let them do their own thing. And I was like, man, like, that'd be pretty cool. And then I see in the back of the line just this giant sword behind all these shields just, like, walking
this
back and forth.
Sword.
Walking back and forth. And then I see it's I forget, I think he's a tiefling. But his name's Shaw. It was Red's gatekeeper. So I remember.
You trained with.
Yeah, who I trained with. So I stepped out of the line and I stood and I pointed. I said, Shaw! I challenge you! And then he turns and he kind of like, I don't know if he had something on him. It was like he took off something. He like stepped through the line with his big sword. And I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And then I think somebody was about to come up and like attack me as I stood up. And then Shaw was like, I got this. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then like we were just kind of going at it. I think I got a hit on him, then he got like a hit on me, and then like his sword was massive, so I was just trying to roleplay like that. I just couldn't block properly with my glaive, so I was like, I threw the glaive down and I had my 2 swords, so I pulled my swords out, and I kind of just did like a whirlwind dance, and I was able to get another hit or 2 on, I can't remember, and then right as you're about to do something, you hear like what was the call? Medic or timeout, and so we're like, so we all go down, and then I was like, all right, well, I can plan what I'm doing next. But so we were down for a moment, and then I was like, all right, I know what I'm doing next, and then I kind of whispered, I said, do a big overhead, and then I said you're gonna go through my block, and he just did this awesome overhead, and I kind of blocked, and then he kind of sort of and just like went through down to my chest, and then I just like destroyed into the ground.
Yeah.
And then after that he looked up at Dorian, was standing up behind. He's like, take him away, and then you just ran up, grabbed my shoulder, and you pulled me out. And
that was probably one of those.
That was pretty cool.
Because I think we saw that because we were both.
I was standing there watching the entire
I was
fight.
drinking my electrolyte lemonade out of my Dixie cup. It's like, yeah.
But then so you dragged me out, and I was like, all right, going to the healers. And then I'm just there again, and I'm like waiting a moment. I'm like, okay, gotta wait for the healers, but I'm like, it's okay. And then they got to me, and they're healing me. And then I get up. Then I'm like, where's our banner? I was like, where'd our, what? I was like, what happened? I was like, did we lose? And then like, there was nobody in blue. Yeah. And then Rarnir, somebody else who was healed, comes up, and he's like, we're still, can we just fight and just die? It's like, we're still alive, let's do something. And then like Red and Green came over and they were like, do you want to fight for us? They're like, talk to our Red Avatar. And then we were like, let's do it. So we went up to the Red Avatar, and remember the Red Avatar was like, what do you want to fight for? And we were like, the fire in our hearts. And it was like, he's like, yes, you can fight for us. So it was like Red and Green. Good answer. Red and Green versus
Silver.
Yeah. And Silver had a really nice barricade going, and like nobody could get in. They had all these shields. But then like me and Rarnir both had like our striker weapons. I'm like, I didn't use shield break yet. And like at this point most people use shield breaker. And there was this this person with this huge wooden shield just in the middle, and then a couple like medium or small shields on the sides. And I kind of just like said to everybody who was like red and green, who like was trying to get in, who couldn't get in, I was like, follow me. And then it was just shield break, boom. And then just like, I just started chopping side to side, getting hits. And then they just,
Yeah.
kind of just bulldozed
Wow.
after that.
Yeah.
You were
And
coming
then
in
red
clutch.
and green took like, the victory. And then we held up and raised. So
But
it was really cool though.
yeah, but while that was going on,
Yeah.
2 players from Shadow coming in clutch for the Abyss got the
Yeah.
red avatar over the line. Like,
Yep.
while
Yeah,
this
because he was
going
just
on.
standing off to the side.
Yeah, and he had no guards. The guards were all gone.
Yep.
And
Just
so
distracted with the fighting.
And so they just walked up and just like guided him over the edge. And like nobody who was on the field noticed. Like all of us who were out saw it happening, and we were probably over 80% blue and shadow players at that point. So we were all like trying to be quiet, like not yell out about it. And
As soon as the red crossed the line, it was like
it was so hype, yeah.
it didn't count for anything, but it was
No,
like,
it was the moral victory that we needed. That's exactly what it was. It was
yeah. The final battle, there's a lot of things I wish I personally could have done differently, but all in all, I had a blast.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely,
it was a good time.
Even just sitting and watching.
Oh yeah, I
was a lot
forgot
of
to
fun.
mention like earlier during one of my lunges, like I was just going out and I saw somebody step out to take a lunge at one of our guys, so I lunged out and countered to hit him. And as I was lunging, somebody else who was watching me with the bow goes a little doink, and an arrow just right in the face.
Yeah.
And it thankfully it felt like it was just somebody just threw a little piece of foam at me. Like it felt like nothing. So I was like, oh, and they were like, oh, they felt so bad. They ran up and like, are you okay? I'm like, okay. And they gave me a fist bump. I'm like, it's all good. It's like,
Yeah.
she's like, we won't count it. I said, that's okay. Yeah, I won't count it either. Thanks. You know, then it was back to the line. Yeah. But yeah, it's just so many things flying through the air. Yeah, bricks and
Yep.
yeah, it was crazy.
Lamplighters Guild.
Bag of
They're the
bricks or
ones that were like
something,
throwing
bread,
bricks and
bricks and-
rocks and
I was like, brick incoming. It's like, ew. It's like, yep.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after the final battle, things kind of just packed up.
Big party.
Like we went
mass
back,
break.
massive party down at Blue. Everybody came again. A lot of like kind of like final things wrapping up, and yeah, because it's Saturday night. This is it, and a lot of people just telling stories about what they accomplished during the week, and kind of just like just reminiscing on everything and just having a good time. Plus, we had a lot of alcohol that needed drunk before the end. Once again, I didn't drink too much, just like a glass or two,
Yeah.
and then
But still just hung out and
told
conversed
stories
and-
by the fire.
I think I
Oh, yeah.
still probably have 20 bottles of Miller High
I know
sitting in my
that
fridge.
that day, like I felt really good throughout the entire. I remember you guys saying, "Oh man, I'm tired." I'm like, I feel great, and like I kept going. But like that last night, that Saturday night, I remember I was like, I'm crashing. I'm going to bed. I was like 10, and I went to bed.
Yeah.
That last night was the latest I stayed up. I don't know what it was. I never really felt tired. I think it was the adrenaline.
Oh, you know.
How hyped I was for the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. I didn't really feel hungry throughout the entire fest.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Like that was the weird thing, because we were burning all kinds of energy, but like I never really like. I ate food,
the soup.
but it was more
was
like
the soup,
the
man.
soup was sustaining us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it was more like. I should probably eat something because it's like 2 PM. I haven't eaten
Yeah.
anything yet today.
Well, I mean, I had breakfast.
I
every
wish
day.
I was like that. Michael knows I was the whole time. I was like, Michael, when we eating? When we eating breakfast? I'm cooking burgers.
Yep.
Yeah, that was me.
granola bars sustained me.
Yep. Yeah.
Also, one thing we did not mention, we got a dragon egg for the skeleton.
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. Because
That's right.
was
the-
after,
for the
that
RP.
was after the final battle.
That was
Yeah,
right
It was
before- that was
before.
the morning.
That was the morning of.
Right, because
Yeah.
like that helped determine what needed to happen at the final battle.
Yes.
So yeah, for the final battle, refs came up and they're like, "All right, here's how things stand. Here's which teams are in the lead. Here's the count of the eggs, but also here are some of the reward eggs for things that have happened during the week." And because of the efforts that went into the museum, but namely just how much game we brought to so many people with the wedding, and all the people that were involved with that, and gave people a great time. yeah, we were awarded a dragon egg.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us, like, first-time LARPers, not knowing what the heck we're doing, just went in and just said yes to every opportunity that came our way. And through that, we earned... What are you doing?
I'm just
I'm
readjusting.
having a really hard moment here.
No, keep going.
We had we earned a dragon egg, so that felt really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do we come in last overall?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Shadow
like second to
had
last.
like 1 or 2 more eggs than us because they had the banners for a day earlier on. But I mean,
But
the Abyss fought and died together, so it doesn't
yeah,
really matter
no,
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the grand scheme of things,
I would've
war
been-
game is
Yeah.
it's really for fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Though honestly, if either of us had won, I would have been happy either way.
Yeah.
Really. But
Yeah. No. Overall, great time. Green Camp, when it all was said and done, Green Camp won the fest overall.
Yep.
And therefore, this upcoming year, the Green Dragon kind of shaped the land and did the green stuff. Our blood has caused the green grass to grow, and or so they say.
Poop makes the grass grow.
Stop it.
Thanks, orcs.
This is the orcs, not me.
Yeah.
I'm quoting.
Yeah, so Green Dragon in this intermediate year did all the Green Dragon stuff. That's now the fest is now green themed because it's their
yep,
first.
you're one of the Green Dragon.
Yep, that's their reigning year. Who knows? Maybe next year blue will be reigning. That would be nice because we would be free
It's not going to be blue
potentially.
until year 5.
I'm giving it 50-50.
I just want my character to be free, please. But even so, it's just a great time. You know, it's just a good time to be had by all. And yeah, so party Saturday night, woke up Sunday morning, and that was kind of just it. Kind of just got the final score, and then kind of bidding farewell to everybody, packing up. And,
Packed up. Everybody who donated to the museum came and, if they wanted to, picked up their artifacts.
Yep.
We've held on to quite a few that we'll be bringing back this year.
There'll be anything that we held on to will be in display next year.
Right.
Yep.
So come see the museum again. Please bring items to donate. We'd be very appreciative. We've got some upgrades to the museum this year, so you gotta stop by and see that. Blue Camp has a lot of fun plans for everybody, not just Blue Campers. So please stop by Blue, and we got a lot of fun things. Got a lot of fun enterprises opening up to come and see, and yeah, it's gonna be a great fest.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
gonna
excited
be
to
real
see
big.
what all the camps have in store for this year, and we're putting our best foot forward once again. Now that we have a little bit of experience, we're going to change things up and do things a little bit differently. Yeah, but thanks for sticking with us through this series, and we hope to see you at Drachenfest.
Yep.
All right,
Adios.
see ya.
See ya.